Hi, thank you for joining our podcast at Animal Wellness. Today I'd like to introduce to you one of our new vet nurses. Her name is Steph. I'm going to let her take it away now. Steph, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi everyone. I've been living in Brisbane since I was 12 years old. Prior to that I lived in England, and I remember a specific moment when I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, when I found an injured hedgehog in my garden.
Oh, you don't have hedgehogs here.
No.
Yep.
I think maybe it'd been attacked by a dog or a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it wrapped up in blankets, and then my parents called the RSPCA and a little ambulance came and took the hedgehog away. And since then I've just had a fascination with learning about animals and wanting to care for them. So that's kind of led me to where I am today.
Cool. And I hear you've got a cat charity project. Tell us about that.
I do. I run a little animal rescue. Right now we're just focused on cats. The rescue is called Billy's Mission Animal Rescue.
Oh, why is it called Billy's?
So Billy was the first kitten that we rescued. It came from a pound, had really sore eyes, and the pound were going to euthanize it just because of the health concerns with it. But we got in touch with another vet who was willing to remove the eyes. And now it runs around the house with its dog and cat friends and is just living life like a normal cat.
So it's got a seeing eye dog, does it? The cat has a seeing eye dog. Yeah, we do have a couple of clients with that as well. Yeah, it can happen, hey. They got such a good sense of smell and hearing, so they use those,
Yeah, so we get contacted by regional pounds in Queensland that need help because they get such a high volume of cats abandoned. And then we've got volunteer drivers that bring them to Brisbane and we put them in foster homes and de-sex them, get all their vet work done, and then they get adopted.
Yeah, that's lovely. We do a lot of cat charity work here, and it's much appreciated, and we do love them. There's some really cute little kittens that come through, and it's the right thing to do, to de-sex them fairly young so that they don't keep breeding, because you can't get too many cats that are just left out in the environment. And there is a rate of killing the wildlife, so we do want to keep that under control.
Breed so fast.
They do. They're amazing. They're either pregnant or they're coming on heat. This is what female cats do, everyone. So you can't just wait for them to go through a change of life. I once had something like a 12-year-old cat who was jaundiced, and the owner brought it in. It was pregnant. And she was like, well, I thought they went through a change of life so they wouldn't get pregnant after menopause. I'm like, no, that doesn't happen. But she'd been through a few years, I guess she wasn't well, where she didn't get pregnant, and then she was pregnant and jaundiced and sick. That was sad. So anyway, get them de-sexed. So, Steph, what do you find that's a bit different working for us here at Animal Wellness?
So I'm still learning a lot here. It's a completely different approach that I've not been involved in before. So the holistic the holistic approach to helping animals is very, very interesting to me. And just over the last few weeks of me being here, hearing the stories from the clients to say what a massive difference this holistic side has had on their pets compared to the traditional kind of chemical medicines that they're offered. Yeah,
that's true. And we're it just makes a lot more sense to me to try and make the immune system stronger and the coat condition better and the animal thriving, rather than, all the anti-stuff, so the antibiotics and the anti-parasiticides and the anti. There just sometimes seems to be no science associated with some of that stuff. I mean, if you have no fleas, why would you put a flea control product on every month? Things like that that just don't make sense. And vaccinations, if they've got a modified live vaccine, which we know lasts for life, at least 5 to 7 years, why would you give a booster of a modified live vaccine every year when they don't need it? And unfortunately, because of who we are, the holistic vets, we actually see damaged animals that have had, say, an annual booster and then they've got epilepsy and they've never had that before. And it is associated with the excipients and the autoimmune irregulation that happens. So we've also seen hemorrhagic gastroenteritis from some of the parasiticides. And, you know, you sort of shake your head and go, no, all vets are just amazing, to be fair. They're very smart individuals and they're scientific, but maybe they haven't read the latest literature on how vaccines give you lifelong immunity, and maybe they're just following a cookie-cutter approach, which might be a little bit easier because life is so busy. And I do feel for the vet industry because it is a very hectic lifestyle and also stressful, and it's kind of easier to do a cookie-cutter approach, but everyone is an individual. That's why not all diets work the same for everyone, even in the human population. So, for instance, some people, some pets can do gluten, some pets can do dairy, but not all of them. So we do try to work with the diet on the animals and the humans. We're also a naturopath clinic upstairs, and try and fit the diet to the animal. We also have books and things that help with that. So there's a lot to learn, isn't there, Steph?
Yes.
And because we're not doing a cookie-cutter approach in general, but there are some standard things that we do that might be a little bit different, and that would be we would do antibody titer tests as opposed to vaccinating, and we do them fairly much every single day. And the vast majority, 90-odd% of them, show good immunity across the board, particularly for parvo, which is the only one that we're really paying close attention to because we haven't seen distemper or hepatitis in Brisbane for over 20, 30 years. So not worried about those ones because we don't have it.
Yeah, it's a different approach, and it's certainly a lot for me to learn coming from like the industry where it was kind of pushed that you just do these preventatives and this is just the way you do things. It's great to see an alternative. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure you're picking up things really quickly, Steph, though. And we try not to overwhelm our staff, but it can be a little bit like that for the first, I'd say, 3 months or so. But hopefully we're giving you enough support. So what were some of the fun things that you've seen here that might amaze you, maybe? Anything come to mind? I enjoy just watching the surgeries, like surgeries that I haven't seen before.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of my previous job was mainly, just desexing, because it was animal shelter work, so a lot of desexing. And here there's a bit more in-depth, more interesting surgeries that I get to see, and just learning like all the Chinese herbs and words that I can't pronounce. I'm sure
my Mandarin isn't that great either. We're very lucky to have some Mandarin native speakers as part of our staff, though, and I usually get them to do the ordering with the Chinese company because they look after us better that way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick a new herb off the shelf every day to learn.
Yeah, that's right. And you can kind of Google the name, and then you'll see all the things that it can do.
Yeah.
Chinese medicine is amazing. I would say that the biggest thing that we find that I reckon everyone should be using is the Liu Wei Di Huang 1. Liu is the number 6. That is a Romania glutinosa formula, which actually reverses renal failure very, very often, we find. So if you get them early enough, if their SDMA and their urea and creatinine levels are just creeping up and a bit high, usually in cats, but also some dogs, we find we've had many patients that were written off as, in renal failure, and then when we keep an eye on them and then supplement and test, their creatinine and SDMA and urea come within normal for years, as long as they stay on it. So it's kind of like the best elixir that everyone should know about.
Yeah. Great.
And it tastes okay too as a powder. You can just add it. It's a little bit sweet, so you can just add it to the food, and they usually just eat it.
Okay.
So there you go. Well, thanks for your chat. So everyone come and say hi to Steph. Okay.